Hi everyone, this is Dao Chai. I'm at the university library right now, so sorry if you guys hear students talking in the background and noises. Okay, so this is going to be part 104 of automatic payments. This one's going to be a little bit big, so I have to break it up. Okay, so this is going to be for SAP S4HANA, right? So we're going to be looking at customizing the payment program, company code, and customization on part one. Okay, so a little inspiration from Stephen Hawkins. Okay, so however difficult life may seem, there's always something you could do and succeed at. All right, so the automatic payment program in SAP is designed to manage output, outgoing, and incoming, right? Mass payment transactions. So it's fully customizable to adapt to the specific needs of each implementation in any country. You can make domestic payments, foreign payment, an intercompany payment, clear down payment, and open item between customers and suppliers, and more. So the automatic payment program, the first generates a payment proposal based on the parameters you set. You can modify the payment proposal, e.g. manual block or unblock items for payments as required, and then process the payment. Depending on the payment made and the payment method used, the system will print checks and prepare electronic bank transfer files or lists of payments for manual execution. Okay, so quick tip, the automatic payment program, so customizing, right? Outgoing payment proposal and runs and payment medium file exports. So we'll take a look at all of that stuff later. Okay, so right now we're just looking at the customized payment program. So the most customizing required for the automatic payment program outside the configuration of invoicing, posting, and business partner master records is performed through the transactions FBZP, all right, through the customizing transactions also can be found separately in the SAP IMG tree. Okay, so right here, just note the house bank button and link is no longer valid with the new SAP S4HANA. It leads to the old transaction of F112, so which has been replaced with the new bank account management application that works in SAP Fiori and Web DynoPro or DynPro. Okay, so that's just how that page looks like. Okay, so right here we're looking at company codes. So the first customer setting you must define some basic specification for any company codes involved in the payment transaction. Okay, so I'll go through all of these. Okay, so sending company codes. So this is the company codes that interact with the business partner. It's usually the company codes for which you're making the definition. If left empty, paying company codes is default, also as the sending company code. Okay, so next we're going to be looking at paying company code. So here you enter the company code that participate in the payment transaction. This can be the same as the company code for which you're making the definition, or another company code when, for example, payments are processed centrally. Both the sending and the paying company code plays a role in the grouping of the payment. Alright, so transactions and a separate payment documents will be processed when any of these are different. So items can be grouped into one payment for company codes with the same paying company code and the same sending company code. Alright, so let's look at separate payment per business area. So if the business areas are used, the system can be made to produce a separate payment document for each business area. And then you got payment method supply, or PLT, and then MET, SUPPL. Okay, so these payment method supplements. So yeah, payment method supplements thus acts as an additional characteristic to split the payment document. You create the two digital key and assign them in a customer and a supplier master record. So these are then copied to the document as well. So when you change the proposed value coming from the master record. Okay, so take a look at that. All right, so we're going to be looking at cash discounts and tolerance. So tolerance days for payable, right? So this parameter allows you to specify a grace period in the form of the number of days by which the cash discount period and the period for the net payment may be exceeded to perform a delayed payment. And then we got outgoing payment with cash discount, right, from form. So you enter the minimum percentage rate for which the system will post a payment early to receive a discount. Discount percentage lower than this rate are ignored, and payment is executed at the due date for net payment. Okay, and then you got maximum cash discount, right? So when checked, the maximum cash discount is always used when paying suppliers invoice, even if the payment is made after the predefined period. Okay, so right here we're going to be looking at vendor. So special general ledger transaction for customers and suppliers that you want to include or exclude from your payment run. Okay, so take a look at that. Okay, so customization. So for each company code that has been defined as a paying company code, you can define the following details. Okay, that's how the whole app's gonna look like, the whole page. Let's go into it. So right here we are at the control data. So minimum amounts for incoming and outgoing payment. So any payment below the amount threshold you define here aren't made. Okay. Okay, so right here we're going to be looking at no exchange rate difference and no exchange rate difference part payments. Right, so this checkbox determines whether the program will calculate and post exchange rate difference. And then you got separate payment for each right here. So this checkbox determines whether the program will perform a separate payment for each document's reference. So clearing between customer and supplier's item isn't performed in this case unless the reference is the same. All right, now we're going to be looking at bill exchange payment. So this checkbox determines whether the program is not to process bill of exchange, right? And then we got direct debit, pre-notification. So this box determines whether to print direct debit pre-notification to inform the payer of a coming direct debit before the collection date. All right, so we got SAP payments up to specification. I didn't really go through that on here, but we'll see it again later. Okay, so but we're going to be looking at form. So form, you can define a SAP script or a PDF-based default form from the payment advance note, advice note, and the electronic data exchange EDI. So a company sheet. So you also define some standard text like address detail that are to be used in the form. Okay. Okay, thank you.